Okay, so my name is Jana Davidson. I am the program manager here at the Progressive Agriculture Foundation. This month, I have the honor of celebrating 10 years as a staff member. And prior to that, I have been a volunteer with the organization since 2005. So definitely a cause very near and dear to my heart. And we're very excited about getting the opportunity to work with one of our five-star partners, TC Energy, as well as our Progressive Agriculture Safety Day coordinators to, really emphasize underground utilities, build partnerships within communities between the two organizations, and again, just keep children safe and keep safety at the forefront. So I do appreciate you joining us today for our open call. Just a few housekeeping details today. If you don't have it on there already, if you can add your name to the screen, that way when we do some Q&A or just conversation here at the end, we'll know who we are chatting with. We do ask that you keep your mic muted for the beginning of this call when we kind of just talk through the partnership, the expectations, things like that. And then when we go into the Q&A session, you are more than welcome to unmute and ask your questions. You can also feel free to put a question in the chat box at any time. If we don't get to it during the duration of our presentation, we will be sure to address it towards the end of the call. And also just know that this session is being recorded. So if you wanted to watch it again after the call, or we can provide this link to any others that were unable to make it here today to view it. So I wanted to first get started and kind of introduce the two organizations. So first of all, those that are joining us from TC Energy, maybe you're just new to hearing about us, but we are the Progressive Agriculture Safety Day program. We provide age-appropriate hands-on safety and health education focused on children ages 4 to 13 years of age. Now, that doesn't mean we don't include teens, as we have many 4-H, FFA, and other teens as volunteers at our program. So they are learning right along with the younger ones. And we also engage with many community volunteers to really make our program happen. So each year we train about 400 to 500 lead and assistant safety day coordinators. Those coordinators go back to their local communities and they work with thousands of other volunteers to make this program possible. So our coordinators truly are the boots on the ground and the reason we are able to have the reach that we do year after year. One other thing that the coordinators, I'm very proud about that, we couldn't do it without them, is that our program is now recognized as the largest rural safety and health education program for children in North America. So we're very excited about that. We're now in our 30th year. So our program actually first came about in 1995 in response to several tragic incidents involving farm children in the early 1990s. Now to this day, we've surpassed more than 2 million youth participants and adult volunteers that have gone through our program. Our vision is that no child would become ill, injured, or die from farm, ranch, and rural activities. And our mission is to provide education, training, and resources to make farm, ranch, and rural life safer and healthier for all children and their communities. Over the years, we have been truly blessed to work with TC Energy. Our partnership right now, TC Energy is one of our 5-star sponsors, which is the highest level you can be in our organization. You can see here, they've been such a great contributor over the years. They've given nearly $1 million in both monetary and in-kind donations to the foundation. So that's just a great partnership. And one of the other cool things that they've provided over the years is they had a youth energy safe kit for many years that our coordinators could request and use at their safety days to really focus on underground utilities. So unfortunately, these kits right now are currently out of stock, but thanks to our partnership, we did weave that into our curriculum. So the how-to approach in providing this session is at your fingertips, or can be at your fingertips. I also want to recognize Jeanette Dane. She's been a long time supporter of our program. She previously served on our board of directors. And Rebecca, who's the senior advisor of social impact, she is currently our partnership liaison and contact. So we do appreciate TC Energy's support over the years. And this past year, they came to us with an idea of really growing our program, which is what's always at the forefront of our organization. How do we reach more community, more kids? And their goal is to grow the program in areas where TC Energy has a presence. So that's really why we're all gathered here today. Here is just a quick snapshot of where our safety days are taking place. So this is a map of the applications that we have received for 2024. I believe there's also been a few red dots added this week. So this isn't even the most up-to-date map, but we keep growing. One thing that has changed over the years is we do accept applications now year-round. We used to have a cutoff deadline each year, but now we're able to move a lot of things online, like our training. So we do accept applications year-round. So as you're listening today, I know all of you are part of a Progressive Agriculture Safety Day currently, but for our friends at TC Energy, maybe you're also thinking you could weave this program into something else that you're doing in your community. And we do support multiple programs in communities. So, please keep us in mind if that's what you're thinking. One thing I do want to touch on that's unique about our program, or again, something that has changed in recent years, we now have 4 unique delivery modes that a coordinator can choose from. So for many years, we had just the school-based and community-based. The difference is there. Community-based was really where we started back in the 1990s. And this is where you can reach a variety of ages, sometimes the entire family unit. So the families may come and go through the stations with the children, or the children might have a track that they go on with stations, and there might be a track for the parents and other adults. You see these offered a lot more in the summer months or on the weekends. And sometimes they're even offered in conjunction with another event. And that's really where Safety Zone came about, because Safety Zone is kind of a spin-off of the community-based program. Safety Zones are really where you are offering the program in conjunction with another event. These events could be farm shows. I know we have events being planned this year during minor league ball games, fairs, several different events where you know that you already have the audience there. You just need to bring the safety and health education to them. The main difference here too is with community-based and Safety Zone. Community-based, you're likely going to be getting registrations in advance of the program, so you know who to account for. Safety Zone, you kind of have to take that guess on what that venue is planning to bring to that event. And one other key difference too is that our community-based programming, the stations are a little bit longer. Usually we're going to see maybe anywhere from 8 to 12 stations being offered that the children will rotate through. Where a Safety Zone, we're having our requirement is a minimum of 4 stations. So and a shorter amount of time with the kids, because we know we're competing with other things at that event. So the community-based, you might see 15 to 20-minute stations. Safety Zone, 3 to 5 minute stations. School-based right now is our most popular. So I know several on the call here are holding a school-based safety day. These are offered specifically for a grade or grade. So you know the audience, you know the ages. Schools really like it. They recognize it as an official school event, and sometimes it's on the calendar year after year. I hold a safety day every September for 2nd graders. We bring about 3 or 4 different schools together at our local fairgrounds, and as soon as it's over, I have the teachers asking, okay, what's the date for next year? We want to make sure it's on the school calendar. So these are, like I said, our most popular, and I would say more than 80% of our safety days are school-based. And then classroom-based, it's again, just like community-based is or Safety Zone, is a spinoff of community-based. I would say classroom is a spinoff of school-based. This is when you want to get in front of the children, but you just don't have that volunteer support built up yet. So you can actually take the program right into the classroom, work just around the teacher's schedule, and coming and delivering topics at different times. So again, just like Safety Zone, we do ask that you offer a minimum of 4 topics, and that you offer those at different times. So you might come in 1 day a week, 4 days in a row during 1 week. You may come in Every week for a month, you may come in once a month to deliver that programming. So it's, again, working with the teacher on what works best. So I just like to point this out because if you're new to our program, this is actually really exciting that there's so many different ways that you can deliver the program. So a couple things I just want to reiterate, and I know that for our coordinators that we've been working with, a lot of you know this already, but just to kind of talk about what's expected for you as a Safety Day coordinator as one of our TC Energy sites. We ask that you complete the required training for your role as a Safety Day coordinator. I'm pretty confident that pretty much everyone on the call here today has already been through their training. So I do appreciate that, and hopefully that's helping them in the planning of their program. We ask that you offer an underground utilities, offer underground utility safety as one of your safety stations that you do offer. We also ask, this is the big one, ask that you engage with local TC Energy employees to volunteer at your safety day and possibly assist with the safety session or in other roles that you see fit throughout the day. I've heard from a few of our coordinators already that they're going to have multiple volunteers from TC Energy coming to help with their safety day, and that is music to our ears. That's just a wonderful partnership. And then last, we do ask if possible you incorporate teens somehow into your programming as volunteers. So again, looking at those 4-H members, FFA members, maybe there's other organizations that can come, because we do see that children really respond well to the peer-to-peer approach with the older teens teaching them. And it's also great for the older teens too, because they're getting that safety and health education right along with the younger ones, learning leadership. And I'm seeing more and more schools that are now requiring that community service component for the students to graduate, or so many that they need per year to be a student. So that can fit right in with those needs as well. For being one of our TC Energy sites this year and completing all these expectations, your program fee, which our annual program fee is $75, will be waived. Now, excuse me, for our TC Energy employees, here's a few expectations we have for all of you. So we ask that you volunteer at an identified safety day in either your state or region. I know that I have a colleague of mine, Jess Isley, on the call, as well as Rebecca from TC Energy. We've been really working to play matchmaker and match up our TC Energy employees with safety days that are happening in their state or in their region. You will be asked to help offer that underground utility station, and even help in the hands-on presentation any way possible. And also, I do want to remind you that our Safety Day coordinators, they do have access to all of our curriculum. So we have curriculum on 30 safety and health topics. One of them is underground utilities. So, be sure to work with that coordinator to get that curriculum so you familiarize yourself and how this topic can be offered. I know that you live in underground utilities, but I know sometimes having to approach children with the messaging can get a little tricky, or you might need some ideas around that. And that's really where the curriculum comes in, because it is written in such a way that it's age appropriate, hands-on, and it really makes the learning fun. So we also ask you work with that local Safety Day coordinator, everything from obtaining that curriculum to identifying the schedule and just all the other logistics that you need to be aware of for the Safety Day. You will be asked either the morning of or before your participation to complete a volunteer code of conduct form. This is just something that we ask of all of our volunteers. It's just a standard 10 to 12 statements that you will agree to, and then you provide us some information. This also helps in our reporting back to TC Energy. So when we're talking with Rebecca, we can say and easily share how many TC Energy employees have helped with our programs this year. If possible, another nice thing that you can do is maybe provide an item for the take-home bag. So every child, when Safety Day concludes, they get a bag to go home. That hopefully gets in the hands of the parents and other siblings to keep that education going after the Safety Day concludes. So if there's information you want to include about TC Energy, or maybe you have a safety-related item you want to include, from hearing protection to eye protection to sunglasses, anything anything like that that is safety or health related, you're welcome to provide that to the coordinator to use in the take-home bags. And then we do ask that you share your experience with TC Energy Corporate, and also provide feedback to the Safety Day coordinator. One thing this year, pretty much all the Safety Day coordinators and the sites that we've identified this year to be part of this program, they're all brand new. So we're all learning together. So any feedback you have about, how this could be improved, how you felt about the session, the length of the session, things like that. Those will all help in the future planning of the program. Also, I want to remind you that for your participation, you will earn reward dollars that you can contribute to the organization of your choice. So that's also kind of your incentive to help with the program. So just a real quick station overview. I used this photo. This is a few years back when TC Energy was still TransCanada, but we did have a gentleman that actually came to my safety day and presented the topic of underground utilities safety. So you can see him utilizing one of the kits. Just so you know, again, the community-based, the school-based, the classroom-based, those stations typically run 15 to 20 minutes in length. Do know that you're probably going to have to repeat that session over and over again, because you're going to have multiple groups or classes come through. So, there'll be a rotation. So if you're doing one of those school-based or community programs, just know you're going to know your session through and through by the end of the day. You'll start rehearsing it in your sleep that night, because you will repeat it over and over again. Safety zone, again, as I already mentioned, you have a limited time with those children, because again, you're competing maybe with a ball game going on, maybe with other vendors. So you have about 3 to 5 minutes to really capture their attention and teach them about safety and health on that topic. So that's where it is a little bit different. And you may have people coming and going throughout. So you're not going to have maybe one designated time frame where the bell's going to ring and people will move around. It will be ongoing. The key, again, just a couple reminders. We do ask, if at all possible, the safety station is hands-on in some way. The kids are actually learning by doing. So think about that when you're creating your presentation. Make sure it's age appropriate. Again, with some of the community and school-based programs, the ages and grades that are coming. Safety zone, that it could be a variety of ages. So just be prepared if little ones come along to maybe older children, how you might want to approach that session just a little bit differently in your messaging. And as I mentioned, just make it fun, make it hands-on, age-appropriate, educational, and fun. And please utilize our curriculum as much as possible. It will really help you in determining what your key talking points will be. And the major areas of focus are usually around calling 811 before you dig. So that messaging, yes, some of the children might not be the ones out there doing the digging, but they can keep that message home to the parents, the grandparents, like, hey, we're putting in a new mailbox, we're putting in a new fence. Did we call 811? Underground utilities, just having them know what's below. I think that's what these children are looking at in the photo here. The gentleman who was helping me, he kind of picked up what looked like fake grass, and he's showing them all the different underground utilities that could be right underneath them. The kids are always amazed if cable could be disrupted, their cable or their internet. So that can always get their attention as well. And then finally, you can talk a little bit about gas leak recognition and response at one point, and maybe you can still get your hands on some of these somehow. But TC Energy would provide us with, it was a scratch and sniff card. So it had that rotten egg smell that if kids would smell that, they knew, okay, there could be a gas leak in my area. I better go for help or leave that area. So that was a good teachable moment too. A few other just general reminders that I just wanted to share with everyone. I encourage you to please take photos and videos of your presentation, of you teaching the lesson, of the kids doing hands-on activities. Do work with that Safety Day coordinator, though, to just identify if there's any children that cannot be photographed. Sometimes, especially those that are having a school or community-based and doing the registration, we do have kind of a release and consent form, and that's one of the questions about being able to be photographed. At the safety zones, it's a little more open. So maybe you could either, you can ask the parents permission if they're there, or you can maybe take photos from the children from behind. That also works as well. But we do really want to see these photos and videos coming in of you guys all taking part in this program. TC Energy employees, you are also encouraged to not only take the photos, but share your photos. So Rebecca would love to see the photos. I included her email there. Please share it with your leaders and anyone at your location, and then post on social media platforms that you might have. And also be sure to tag TC Energy and Progressive Agriculture Safety Days if possible, so we're also able to see it and maybe even reshare it on our platforms. I mentioned already, TC Energy employees, please track your volunteer time, because you will be given those reward dollars that you can contribute to other organizations of your choice. And for our PAF Safety Day coordinators, just a reminder, if you're taking photos, we ask that you submit those about the same time you're doing your follow-up report and things like that, right in the coordinator portal. You can find the submission where you can upload your 10 best photos under the My Current Safety Day section of your portal. If you have more than 10, fantastic. You can email those to either myself or Toby Neal, who many of you are familiar with. And Toby either can get them through his own email, which is tneal@progressiveag.org, or you can always use our general email, which is safetyday@progressiveag.org. I also just want to share, I know a lot of our coordinators already heard this through training, but it's just nice to bring everyone on the same page just about some of the things that we cannot do at a safety day. There's several things that we can do, but there's a few things that our insurance does not allow. So one of them is no child in motion due to a motorized and sometimes a mechanical means. So some mechanical means that's approved. For instance, maybe the children we teach disability awareness, and maybe they're utilizing a wheelchair. Maybe they're learning how to ride a bike safely. We've also seen pedal carts used to teach bike safety, roadway safety, things like that. We've put children on gurneys to teach them a little bit about first aid or first on the scene. So there are some ways that we can still use that mechanical means, but no motorized means. We can't have a child riding an ATV, in a golf cart, things like that. No child in or on water. So we can do water safety, and we can also do different things that represent water, like a tarp, things like that, but we can't put a child like in a boat and put them in the water. No child in or on grain or anything resembling grain. Our message to the youth is really to stay out of grain. We see a lot of grain bin related incidents where kids, look at it as like a play area, and it's so dangerous. It's like quicksand. It just takes a matter of seconds for you to be completely engulfed. So that's kind of our message. We can teach grain safety. We can show them things, but we never want to put a child in or on grain. No live ammunition, no explosives, no drones, no hot air balloons, and no petting zoo. While we teach animal safety, and you can use animals to come in to teach animal safety, we just don't want it to be a free-for-all where kids are just coming up and petting animals, because we can see where that sometimes can create maybe a safety issue or safety hazard. So if you're going to bring animals in for the kids to pet, make sure that they are a petting animal, like a dog, a rabbit, maybe a cat, and make sure the animals are good with kids, and maybe even sub them out if possible. So bring in a backup. So the dog maybe gets 2 sessions, and you bring in another dog for the next 2, because that's a lot of kids that they can encounter in a small amount of time. So just always keep that in mind. So with that, I'm going to conclude my presentation today, and just wanted to remind you, here are kind of the 2 individuals on the Progressive Ag Foundation team that are really working closely on this project. Myself as the program manager, and Jess Isley, who's joining us today. So if you wanted to reach out to us, please do. Jess also wanted me to remind you that if you're still needing to connect with maybe you're a TC Energy employee and you're needing to connect with that local site, she can help kind of be that matchmaker for you and do those introductions, as well as if you are a safety day coordinator and you're still trying to identify the TC Energy employees in your area, she can help make that happen. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And at this point, I'll open it up if anyone has any questions about their participation. Well, that's good. That means that maybe everybody was already aware of kind of their role and the expectations. And that's why I just wanted to have this kind of touch point with you. I know everybody's very busy during sometimes this time of year. We have many safety days happening in the spring and then others happening in the fall, but just a good time to just connect and remind everyone. But I'll stay here if anybody has any questions.
I have a question. I'm not sure if this is, we haven't been in contact with any TC Energy employees or anything yet, so I'm not sure this is a question for right now or later. But we were considering for our schedule to do a large group session in the morning, and we were wondering if we could do the underground utilities session as a large group session as opposed to a small group station.
That's a great question, Ainsley, and I meant to include that in the presentation, so I'm glad that you asked that. Yes, sometimes we do see large group presentations or demonstrations held in like either the opening, the afternoon, or even the closing, and I think that that would be completely fine to do as well. So perfect. And Ainsley, remind me where you're located again.
Moundsville, West Virginia.
Moundsville, West Virginia. Okay, perfect. Just so we know where to connect you with someone.
Yes, I was writing down. Can you tell me what Jess's email was again? I was in the process of writing it down and then I was a little bit behind.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm going to have Jess's on here. I'm going to have her post that in the chat for you.
Okay.
So that way you can do a copy and paste.
Thank you.
Hey, Ainsley. I'm Jason Delaney. I'm actually your contact for TC Energy in Moundsville. So
okay, perfect.
Perfect.
I'll type my phone number in the chat. That way, when you want to reach out and give me a call, that be make it simpler for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason, and thank you for joining us today.
Oh, no problem.
Hi. So in terms of like if TC Energy is going to provide anything for those bags, is that the responsibility of our local employees to reach out to corporate, or is corporate going to contact them and say, hey, these are the things that we have for your programs, or what does that piece look like, right? I'm on the coordinator end, so.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So, and Jess, you can jump into and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's really going to be at more of the local level. So the local TC Energy employees, as it all might be a little bit different, they can always reach out to corporate and probably see if there's any items that they can easily distribute. But I just know there's one particular safety day I know that's happening in West Virginia. There's already like kind of a contact or relationship there among the coordinator and the employees. I know Laura, you have kind of a similar situation, as I know your spouse is one of the TC Energy employees, but they are able, they kind of asked about, hey, can we provide some items from for your take-home bag? So I think those are things that they're going to be obtaining locally from their local site.
I know that Rebecca did say that she had gathered some things, I think for the take-home bags, that she was going to mail directly to any of the TC Energy folks that
Perfect.
So I can connect her and make sure, Laura, I let her know about your safety day. So I'll just make sure that she has an address or who I should connect her with to mail that stuff to. Okay. I think she's been in touch with Devin and she actually asked him for his address, but I'll follow up and make sure. So they should have everything together anyway.
Thanks, Jess. Any other questions? If not, I do appreciate your time today. I did try to keep it short and sweet, so I did good right around that 30-minute mark. Proud of myself because Jess knows I'm a talker. But we, on behalf of Jess and myself and everyone here at the Progressive Agriculture Foundation, we want to thank each one of you. We want to thank TC Energy for your continuous support of our program. This partnership, now in its 11th year, has helped us reach so many children. And our Safety Day coordinators that are on the phone, we couldn't do this without you as well. So you, like I've mentioned already, you are the boots on the ground and the ones helping us continue to get into new communities and reach more kids year after year. So we truly appreciate all of your time, and thank you for being with us today.